A hot topic of conversation in the last 6 months has been Land Rovers. Should you buy one in 2024 or should you not? Keep watching this video to find out. Yes people, it's Andrew here from Bracey's Motors, and today we're going to be answering the question, should you buy a used Range Rover Sport in 2024? Keep watching this video to find out. Now, for a number of reasons, the price of these vehicles has dropped dramatically in the last 6 months, and it now begs the question, are they cheap enough to be good value or should you stay clear? Now, the reason that the value of these vehicles has dropped so much is of course the rate at which they're being stolen, so the insurance prices are going up. However, now may be the perfect time that the prices have dropped to get into one of these, because they offer the best bang for your buck and the best value for money than you're going to get anywhere else in the market. Now, only last year, a model like this could set you back up to £30,000 on a similar spec, and brand new they costed £65,000. So it's absolutely insane that we can now buy something like this for £18,000. Now, the reason that this is so outstanding is the spec that these vehicles hold. Now, not only does this vehicle have an amazing colour combination, when we jump in the cab, you can also see the outstanding spec it has to offer. So as soon as we get into the cab, you're greeted by the spec options that this vehicle has to offer, starting with the 1600 watt Meridian sound system that sounds absolutely amazing. So for any of you music head out there, definitely a car for you. All the memory seat functions are on the door, which is really nice. Obviously electric windows, electric mirrors, electrically operated boot. You've got your steering wheel media controls, cruise control of course, paddle shifting gearbox, which performs really nice. So as soon as we get in, we can obviously adjust the steering wheel with the electrically adjustable column. We've got the 16-way adjustable leather seats, which feel really comfortable. And then we move on to the middle here. So in the center console, you're going to find all of the four-wheel drive controls you could want in a pavement princess like this. Starting with the hill descent control, you can be going down a nearly vertical hill and you can press this button and it will take you down at a slow and steady speed that's not going to let you lose control. You've also got the automatic button, which is always pressed down and will sense what sort of terrain you're on and give you the best performance for that application. Here you've got your height controls as well, so you can go full height to off-road mode, or you can go right down to access if you're trying to get your grandma in so she can get in without breaking her back. Also, when we turn the car on, we're going to be able to choose all of our diff locking settings so that if you're in a really technical situation, you are going to get out. So a lot of people thought that when these models came out that they were absolute pavement princesses and they wasn't going to be able to do anything off-road. It's actually incorrect. They're actually really capable. And I've done many off-road days in Land Rovers myself, really enjoy it. So being a Range Rover, it's of course designed to have unmatched road presence, which this one definitely has. We've got privacy windows all the way around that contrast lovely with the white paint. You've also got the black painted roof as well, which they're so well known by. Really nice. When you hop in the back as well, obviously you're going to be carrying passengers. We've got three-way heated seats, your charging port back here as well, along with of course the Meridian logos signifying the 1600 watt sound system to keep you entertained. LED lights at the top and handles just in case that driver's going crazy. So walking past these stunning gloss black alloys with the red calipers there, we're going to the boot, which is electrically operated of course. It's got the stealth pack with the black badges, and when we look inside, we're greeted by this massive space, fit for any purpose. Now, another thing to take into consideration if you're thinking of buying one of these vehicles is of course the engines that they're supplied with. Now, these come with the 3 litres and the 4.4 diesels, disregarding the 5 litre supercharge of course, and this one is the 3 litre SD V6. Now, some may say these are quite well renowned for failure and problems. However, if you do attain one with the right service history and it's had the belts done like this one, then you may be in for a treat, and they've, for me, caused nothing but happiness. Now, last year I actually owned and drove a 4.4 Vogue for a good few months, really enjoyed it, and in fact managed to return MPGs of around 25 miles to the gallon. However, this 3 litre model, which is a bit lighter obviously being a sport, is managing to return around 30 miles to the gallon, and it's doing really surprisingly well as opposed to the Bentley on the fuel, which is great. It pushes out 292 horsepower, which is ample power for a car like this, and let's be honest, you're not buying something like this to race around tracks, you're buying it to cruise, and this engine does that perfectly. So for me, one of the best things about Land Rovers is how it makes you feel when you drive. So let's get on the road and we're going to see how it performs and see if it really is worth that cheap price tag that you can now get these for. So as soon as you pull off in this, you do just get that unmatched feel of road presence. It really does remind me of the Vogue I had last year. Certainly one of my favourite cars to drive, I think. Paired with a really good MPG as well, I could really see this being a good daily. You know, if you like obviously being a bit higher off the ground, if you like a nice road presence, and you know, a bit of power as well, I certainly think that this is a good contender, especially in the sub £20,000 bracket. So as we mentioned before, this is obviously an SD V6 engine, which is very similar to the TD V6, just tuned for slightly higher power output. Now, as we mentioned, it's not something you're looking to drive at a million miles an hour, but certainly paired with the ZF 8-speed automatic transmission, performs really well. Obviously with the 8 gears, it does really good MPGs, and when you whack into sport mode, you can definitely get yourself out of sticky situations, and yeah, it's good fun to drive at the same time as well. Now with the adaptable suspension, you can also go up and down, so it presents a really nice sort of modular way to drive, and it certainly doesn't feel as big as it sort of looks. So like we mentioned earlier, this car just truly gives you a really good feeling of quality, and it really reminds me of my old Vogue I miss so much. You know, this 1600 watt sound system paired with the drive, I mean, even though it has outstanding off-road capabilities for a pavement princess, it is really smooth. I mean, you can drive this for hours. So just to put this into perspective value wise, so most people nowadays, if it's anything over £7,000, you know, the most customers you're going to get, for me at least, are finance, and this car is going to set you back with a £5,000 deposit at just £273 a month, with you know, a top credit rating. Obviously, you know, if your credit rating's a bit worse, you can expect anything up to £300 a month, with, you know, a £5,000 deposit. But just think of that, for £5,000 and £300 a month, you can be getting yourself into a big Land Rover, facelift as well. Looks, you know, looks the part, certainly drives the part, has all the tech in there. So, you know, in answer to the question, I think that now the values have dropped this much, these cars are a very good contender in the sub 20k budget, and certainly do the job that they're required. So obviously we've got a few media units that are available in this car. You've got the main media unit in the middle, which is very extensive for a 2014 vehicle. It certainly doesn't look dated, which is a really common problem with cars of this sort of age. Of course, the quickest thing to age is technology and screens. You know, it looks very nice up here. There's also a lot of options you can do to sort of upgrade these to Apple CarPlay units. That's what I had in my old Land Rover. It's really nice. Also up here you've got full digital dash as well, which has a multitude of options. You can go through to see sort of MPGs, you know, speed digitally. You can set up settings for the vehicle. You can sort of set up what you want to see on the display. So it's really modular in that respect. And again, you know, if you had this car in 2014, this would have been the pinnacle of technology back then. And you know, 10 years later, I certainly don't think it looks dated whatsoever. So another really cool feature you can just see popping up there on the wing mirror is the traffic warning. So in the mirrors, when a car's coming up behind you, you can see it flashes up there, and it just lets you know, it does draw your eye to it when you're in the driving seat. You always see it when you're driving past the car, and you think, what use is that? But you know, in actual fact, especially when you're in the evening, I think it's really helpful just to let you know, and after a while you get to sort of gauge distance as well. You know, you can sort of tell how far the car is away from you, and it's just one of them weird little things that you wouldn't think you would use or, you know, appreciate, but you really do when you start using the car every day. Yeah, so of course this video is for someone who's thinking of purchasing a Land Rover. There's so many different types. You've got your Evokes, the Sports, the Vogues. Certainly the Sports for me look the part. I think they look the best in this sort of 14 plate shape. The Vogues are probably a little bit nicer inside. The Evokes not so much for me. You know, really nice for a sort of female's car in my opinion, or, you know, I know a lot of males drive and enjoy them. But certainly I think the Sport has the best road presence, and in a colour combination like this, it's not really matched, again, for this sort of price range at least. Another feature I didn't think I'd use too much, but I have ended up using on maybe even the most small journeys, even when I'm in a neighbouring town that I know exactly the fastest way back from, is this take me home button. So you'll press that and it will tell you exactly when you're going to be back. So it helps for timing. If you've got a busy schedule, you just know where you're going to be at what time, and it just helps you plan things along. Another one of them weird little features that you don't think you're going to use until you have it on the car. and when you do, you know, you end up finding yourself using it all the time. So yeah, we've talked about all the topics in this video, about the specs, the power, should you buy one, the reasons you should, the reasons you shouldn't. And to summarise, in my opinion, I think that now the price has dropped this much, I don't think they're going to drop that much more. So certainly the residuals, in my opinion, I think they should stay roughly where they are, given obviously, you know, mileage and a near time frame. So, you know, for the price you can get them for monthly, I certainly think that they are a good contender. This exact one, it's got a full service history, it's just had the cam belt done, which is obviously a big job, as we said, on these SDV6 engines. Is really sought after. So look, if you are in the market for one of these cars, or you would like to come and test drive one, or view one, or even just call us and talk to us about one, you'd be more than welcome to do so. So, you know, feel free to call us on 01462 557 444. We'll be happy to help you out in the purchase of this vehicle or another one. As I said, we do lots of sourcing as well, so we could definitely find you one with a different spec, different interior, different colour combination, whatever it is you like or whatever it is you want. If it has something to do with a car or a Land Rover for that matter, let us know. We can help you get into your dream car today. Thank you very much for watching. It's Andrew from Braces Motors. We'll see you in the next one. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.